What's up? Welcome to Too Real, man. Where we keep it too real. This is one of the realest and newest channels on YouTube. I just want to say this channel is for anybody out there who's searching for the truth and trying to make sense of it. Now let's keep it 100 though. We know the truth may not make sense all the time, so I don't expect you to believe everything that I say. But I do hope you at least take what I'm saying into consideration, do your own personal research, and gain your own personal revelation. Now, today I want to talk about Equatorial Beings. This is not a food, okay? This is not something that you cook up in Louisiana. This is not a southern recipe that your grandma has left behind. It's none of that, okay? This is actually what you are. For anybody out there who got melanin in their skin, or should I say, I don't know. Matter of fact, before I get into that, I wrote down a couple of notes right here. Okay, look, so I thought about this, okay? What is a good person? Is a good person a person that go grocery shopping and buy all the homeless people some food or something, or whatever place? Is a good person a person that sit there and cut the homeless people hair? Is a good person a person that donate millions and millions to a charity? What is a good person to you? I know everybody got their own definition of what a good person is. But in reality, let's be 100. According to the Bible, there's only one good person, Jesus Christ. And in order to become a good person, all you got to do is believe in him, because he the only one on this planet who ain't sinned. You know what I'm saying? We all sinned. We was born into it. But not God. Not Jesus. Now, Mary, I don't think she was a virgin supposed to be. I know the story already. And I know some of y'all. Anyways, so in a sense, you can't say that a good person is some person that do all these things. But in order for us to be good, basically, we got to become Christ-like, because he was the only good one. And we can't become exactly like Christ. That's why it's called Christ-like. Okay, wait. Maybe they do mean become like Christ. That's going to be our eternal bodies, I would say. You know what I'm saying? If we end up in heaven and then we be Christ-like. You know what I'm saying? On this earth, I don't think we're going to be able to fully be Christ. You know what I'm saying? Because there's only one at the end of the day. Another thing. I put up a Facebook post talking about how majority of us who was born into this world, we do not know. We don't really know. We don't remember nothing. Like, for the majority of us who was born, like from all the way up until we the swimming little sperm cell, we don't even remember that. We don't remember making it through. All the way up until we like what, maybe 3, 4, 5, something like that. Then we start like being aware and be like, okay, you just start remembering then. But I thought about that, and the thing is, I watched my oldest son be born, not my second son, and I also watched my daughter be born. The thing with my daughter is I ain't experienced, these are more newer ultrasound images. Then I don't even think I remember seeing ultrasound images back in the days from my oldest son. But these ultrasound images I seen of my daughter now, like at the time she was, in the womb, I was automatically assuming like, okay, she don't know I'm looking at her. You know what I'm saying? She in the womb. She ain't know, she ain't had no idea. And I felt like, in a sense, when God created man, when we was first born, in a way, back then, Adam and Eve, we all was in that state. But I don't know how old we was back then, like far as, I know they lived thousands and thousands of years and stuff like that, but I don't know how they look. I don't know if they started off small, if they started off, tall, or, I don't really know, but Cause I ain't really think about that too deep like that. Like for us, what's the age that you usually supposed to start off, from a baby, what I'm saying, the child, I don't know what age Adam and Eve started off at, which is something to actually wonder about. Okay, so in a sense, like for us to be parents, we are kind of. I basically say we got a glimpse of what it is to be God, of how He watching us. You know what I'm saying? Of how He looking down at us and He seeing everything we doing. Way even before we knew about it. Like we ain't know about God at first, and then the times we didn't even know it, and we started being like, oh, we start believing. Then we start being aware, okay, of Him. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was interesting. Another thing, I don't think we, I don't think we're supposed to really fully understand life. I don't think we're supposed to understand everything in life fully or completely, but just enough to keep us excited and constantly searching for more. Now, the thing is how I look at it, like if everybody's sinned and Jesus is the only one who ain't sinned, but we can become like Him if we believe in Him, there's still a little good in us that's able to start. He always talks about having a mustard seed of faith. That's all it takes. Mustard seed is one of the smallest seeds, and I think it grows to be one of the biggest trees. But if you got faith small as a mustard seed, then that's basically all you need to tap into, His power, because we all created in His image. So we made in His likeness. So He lives in us. In a sense, we live in Him too as well. If we live in Him and He live in us, then the little good that we have left, basically I look at it as a cup. He always talk about our cups will overflow with joy or runneth over, with glory and all kind of, grace and mercy. But at the same time, I look at it like the cup we have is little and our heart is little. You know what I'm saying? And the grace and mercy He got is great. All we need is a little bit of His grace and mercy, and it's going to fill that cup up and make us feel like a super God. You know what I'm saying? That's how, because we sin. We ain't fully, once we over in the other side, then we fully gain our full bodies. We get that full cup. And we get that how it really feel to be, oh, this how it really supposed to be type feeling. Now, another thing too. When I say we're not supposed to understand everything, so y'all already know I believe that the earth is on this flat layout, this flat plane. Even when you go look up airplane, go look up the definition of that. And gyroscopes and all that. I explained that in the video, 2 videos before, I think in episode 9. But like far as the sun, the moon, and the wind, for me, in my own eyes, as much as I research and know about the sun, moon, and the wind, and even more things, but I'm just choosing them 3. I still don't fully understand them because I believe in I guess you could say 60 to 70% of science, not all of it, because all of it don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? I just go by what makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, for me believing that the sun is a ball of fire, I kind of don't believe that no more. And I know that's going to sound off the wall to y'all because on the flat layout plane of the biblical version of the earth, the Bible describes the sun as just a light in the clouds. It's a light. You know what I'm saying? And the Bible also describes the moon as a light. That the moon, and it actually says that the moon gives off its own light. You know what I'm saying? So, and the thing is, the moon don't even spin. We see one side of the moon, but it rotates. The sun looked like a big light bulb in a sense. Now, when you look at the sun, it don't look like fire. Now, I ain't gonna say look at it. Now, I used to made my eyes bad. That's why I got glasses on. These are prescribed glasses. These ain't just to look cool and look fly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I can't. But I'm just saying, I think I'm wearing glasses right now because back in the days I used to stand to the sun like a long time ago. Like I don't know why, it just was so fascinating. And I used to can look straight into it without blinking and nothing. That's how long. Don't do that though. It's gonna make your eyes bad. But when you do that, it start to look like a black hole. Not to say a black hole, but it start to just look like a mirror, like almost. It's crazy, but it don't look like fire. That's it. And I know there are scientific explanations on the round Earth side. I already know. You know what I'm saying? I already know all that. The flat layout side, to me, is more like it make most sense over here, man. You know what I'm saying? The moon don't spin, and then the wind. I look at the wind. Day before yesterday, the wind was blowing hard. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really out here in Alaska. I ain't really. You don't really feel wind like that. It was blowing hard. I don't know if people who've been staying out here felt wind like that, but I've been out here for a couple of years and I ain't felt the wind blow that hard before. Now, like I said, I know I got scientific explanation on the earth. I mean, on the round earth. You know, for y'all. Somebody was telling me I had to ask him because I ain't really think about that. Like, what the wind? I had to ask him, hey, what scientists say the wind come from? I told him because, he believe in the science and like all of it. I kind of like I said, I believe in what makes sense. But he was telling me how they describe how the hot and the cold and it cause wind. And again, it makes sense. You know what I'm saying, when it causes storms. You know what I'm saying, that definitely makes sense. But the thing is, like, when it talks about a Bible verse about the angels holding the four winds from the four corners of the earth, and I don't really know what detail that I heard it from, but it describes these four corners as being chambers in the courts. Like, I forgot exactly what that Bible verse was. But basically, what these courts was in this four corners, basically, of this earth was basically, of the earth is where the wind was blowing from. Like, and like I said, I don't fully understand that. I got to look more into that. But I think it's interesting when you don't fully understand something. I know we all, supposed to think we know everything. And I don't really fully believe that we kind of like do at the sense, but it is what it is. Another thing, I'm making it down into what I want to talk about. I'm still talking about the Equatorial Beings. It's coming into that. They say, and there's two things specifically: the shape of the earth don't matter, and they say that the color of Jesus don't matter. I just been hearing this specifically, and to me, I don't know if I said this in the last video, but I'm saying if Jesus was a certain ethnicity, if God was a certain ethnicity, I think that is very important to know. I don't think it is not important just because he God and he can save everybody. Like, he came in the color for a reason. You see what I'm saying? And I don't like when people just discredit, an attribute like that came with it. He was born a certain color, you know. But a lot of people just want to be like, oh, it doesn't matter. And they're just saying, like, that piece of God don't matter or something. Like, come on, I don't think you're really thinking. I don't think they be thinking when they saying that. But I think it matters at the end of the day. And the shape of the earth matters. If y'all understood floods, even how to make a rainbow, man. I don't even want to explain that. But I'm explaining a little bit anyways. You need water, you need a mirror, and you need sunlight. When you sprinkle water in mid-air, it'll create a rainbow, right? So y'all be like, no, all you need is water. But you have no idea. And I know the thing is, I'm going to just say, go look up how to create a rainbow. If I don't put it up in this video, you go look it up. And it'll show you. You need a glass, you need sunlight, and you need water. And there has to be like this kind of crossing in between I think the water and the mirror, in a sense, where the light hit to where it caused the rainbow to have an effect like that. And when it's in midair, That's because we in the case. And then when you look in the sky and you see the sun and you see that big ring around the sun, you kind of giving a glimpse of like that dome effect in a sense. So that dome effect, when you sprinkle water in like this mid-air, that dome effect, because the light and the glass, and the water, that's all together within, and that's how you see the rainbow. I don't know if I explained that right, but that's how you see that. Okay, moving on. Another thing I want to talk about. Now, this is crazy. I started learning this stuff. This is kind of new. And I researched this back in the day, but I kind of left it alone in a sense. Now, if you look up, everybody got blood, of course. We all got blood in our body. Everything got blood. You know what I'm saying? And the Bible says that wherever their blood is, I think there's life. Wherever their life is, there's blood, or something like that. So there is life within the blood. Okay? If you go, y'all need to start researching a little bit of anatomy. That's a study of the body. If you go start researching a little bit of that, start researching how the body actually works and how it functions, it'll start making more sense of why our bodies do the things that it do. But right here say blood has three main functions: transport, protection, and regulation. Blood transports the following substances: gases, namely oxygen and carbon dioxide, between the lungs and rest of the body. Nutrients from the digestive tract and storage sites to the rest of the body. All right? So that's basically the functions of it. And the thing is, this is a crazy thing. Pay attention to this. So it says blood has three main functions. The main functions is transport, protection, and regulation. That's the main functions of blood. Now you got to remember, God said that there is life in the blood. And right now it's saying that blood is it has three functions: transport, protection, and regulation. Okay? Now, hold on to that. Now, it goes on to say, the liquid part called plasma is made of water, salts, and protein. Over half of your blood is plasma. The solid part of your blood contains red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. Red blood cells, RBCs, deliver oxygen from your lungs to your tissues and organs. And this is basically the composition of blood right here. So blood has two major components: plasma, the liquid matrix of the blood, made up of approximately 92% water, electrolytes, sodium, potassium, chloride, calcium, magnesium, bicarbonate. Yeah, I think that is. Nutrients, glucose, lipids, amino acids. Blood gases, OC. Hold on, that's oxygen, CO2. What was that? Nitrogen. Regulatory substance, hormones, and enzymes. Formed elements: red blood cells, which is erythrocytes; white blood cells, leukocytes; platelets is thermocytes. Okay, so basically 55% of the total blood, and that's the picture of it, And the thing is, we went to the plasma center. We used to go donate plasma, and we donated plasma, and they basically gave us $40 for it, and then the next time we went, they gave us like $70. We used to do this I think it was like 14, 15, 6, some years ago. I don't know. It was a while back when I used to stay in Lafayette. But it got us by on a little cash when you ain't you couldn't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? You had it. If you ain't like needles, but we was in there pumping away. Here, go ahead and take that plasma. Let me get my little 40 in. You know what I'm saying? I got to go ahead and get me a yeah. Let me call it. Let me stop. But basically, this plasma, man. Okay, hold up. So this is the chart. Say plasma 55. This is this is a more a detailed chart of it. I ain't finna read all them names. Y'all can pause the video and look at this if y'all want to. I think that is kind of a lot, but I think it platelets I thought was interesting too. It say if you got too many platelets, is that blood clotting or stop? Okay, let's go look this up. Okay, so red blood cells. They say red blood cells are foreign elements responsible for the transport of oxygen into the lesser degree of carbon dioxide in the blood. Red blood cells account for roughly half the volume of whole blood and give blood its color. Okay, so that's what red blood cells do. Okay, white blood cells are foreign elements that help defend the body from infections and disease. Okay, it's the white blood cells. Okay, and inside the white blood cells, these are the monocytes, the lymphocytes, and the essential. Okay, hold up. Okay, so let's read monocytes. Monocytes are phagocytes. Monocytes are phagocytes similar to the free macrophages in other tissues. Lymphocytes are uncommon in the blood, but they are in dominant cell types lymph. In lymph, the second type of fluid connective tissue. Eosinophils and neutrophils are phagocytes. Hope I'm saying that right. Basophils promote inflammation much like mast cells and other connective tissues. And then it says platelets are foreign elements consisting of membrane enclosed packets of cytoplasm. These cell fragments are involved in a clotting response that seals leaks and damage or broken blood vessels. Okay, so platelets fix damaged blood, and it damage you. That's the stuff that seals you up, that stops you from bleeding. You got your white blood cells that stops the infections. If you get cut, it's gonna fight the infections just in case. Bam, then it's gonna seal it up. You got the red blood cells that are responsible for the oxygen. Yeah, and that transports the oxygen to your blood to continue the process of blood flow, I guess you could say. So, and another thing, our blood is equipped with this already. I don't want to get into evolution of how long it would take us to evolve all the way into an intricate organism like this. You know how long it'll take a while. Okay, now the thing is, what I also wanted to look up, also protection. I want to look up protection, transport, and regulation. Now, of course, we should already know what these mean, but let's look at the definition. So it's a protection, the action of protecting, or the state of being protected. Synonym: defense, shielding, shelter, preservation. Preservation, conservation, safekeeping, safeguarding, safely secured, and so on. Okay, we already know what protection is. Okay, a person, thing that prevents someone or something from suffering harm or injury. That's even a better. Ooh. Okay, now stay where I'm at, man. I'm going somewhere for a reason, because this is how I kind of Bible study in a sense. I kind of look at the way we are, because we created in God's image. So you're supposed to study the body. If you studied the body, you can kind of understand God. That's what kind of brought me to the fact that if being pregnant, my girl being pregnant, how she don't control nothing, the baby just growing, or how we can't really remember us being, that kind of stuff. Just kind of, we don't understand our own selves. But transport means to take or carry people or goods from one place to another by means of vehicle, aircraft, or ship. Synonyms: convey, carry, take, transfer, move, ship, shift, bring, fetch, send, deliver, such and such. All right. Second definition: overwhelm someone with a strong emotion, especially joy. Y'all, please stick to what I'm saying, man. Because as I'm reading this right now, I'm just getting some new stuff for me, taking it in personally. Okay, I'm just learning stuff on spot. I wasn't even finna put this in the video like this. I kind of looked this up at the last minute, but as I'm reading it right now in this minute right here. So, okay, we're going to continue. Regulation: a rule or directive made and maintained by an authority. Synonyms: rule, ruling, order, directive, act, law, bylaw, statute, edict, canon, ordinance, pronouncement, such and such. All right? Second definition: the action or process of regulating or being regulated. Synonym: adjustment, control, management, balance, setting. Peep game. So we got regulation, transport, and protection. This is actually the main function of the blood, you know what I'm saying, which God says has life in it. Now, aren't we saved by Jesus' blood? Wouldn't his blood do the same functions? Okay, you want me to go back and read the protection of his blood? The protection says the action of protecting or the state of being protected. Okay? All right? Transport, to take or carry people or goods from one place to another by means of vehicle, aircraft, or ship. Okay, get what I'm saying now? Regulation, a rule or directive made and maintained by an authority. Okay, we saved by Jesus' blood. So the blood itself, blood itself, and the Bible saying Jesus' blood saves us from our sins. He is the truth, the way, and the life. And blood and life is in the blood, and his blood saves us. Transport, to take or carry. That remind me of the rapture. Regulation, rule, directive. That's like him, that final, he gives the authority. Protection is like the days of Noah when he protected them from the ark. That's what I just got from all that. We saved by his blood. Now, let's go to the equatorial beings things. And there's a reason why I want to talk about equatorial beings. And I'm going to mess up that word a couple of times, but let me make sure to still recording. Hold on. Okay, still recording. Sometimes it cut off, though. But it's the reason why I want to talk about equatorial beings like that. Now, like I said, that's the last little information that was kind of new to me. I ain't really know that. I was just reading it and it kind of brought that revelation, because that's how I kind of look at the Bible, you know. I love the rapture and everything like that. So, now, equatorial beings. Now, peep game. So, it say equatorial means of at or near the equator. You know, equatorial regions. You know, synonyms: tropical, hot, torrid, sweltering. Okay, so equatorial beings are basically people who lived in the tropical, you know, environment, the hot, the torrid environments. You know what I'm saying? So, torrid environment. And that's what, so you got to understand the time back in the gap that God was born. Jesus was born, all right? Now, the thing is about the sun. So the sun, basically, I think I pulled up, this is an old little, and I just pulled this up and kind of posted it up on here because I just was researching quickly. Okay, mouse study finds sun exposure releases endorphins. A new mouse study has found that conscious exposure to ultraviolet UV radiation causes the release of endorphins, known as feel-good hormones, leading to physical dependence, tolerance, and addiction-like behavior in the rodents. Okay? So the sun gives off feel-good endorphins. You know what I'm saying? And you feel good. That's why a lot of y'all be wanting to go tanning all the time. Y'all just, it's addictive. You know what I'm saying? We need that but at the same time, for those of people who don't have melanin in their skin or anything like that, they are burned by it. And you are born this way in a sense. Now, for us to be, you know, sun don't affect us like that. We'll just get darker. Now, y'all stick with me. I know I'm kind of moving fast, but basically it say feel-good hormones make sun exposure addictive, studies suggest. And this was something published, you know, Friday, 20th June 2014. When the sun is shining, many of us are unable to resist the trip to the beach to soak up the rays, despite recommendation that we should cover up to reduce the risk of skin cancer. And now researchers have discovered why ultraviolet radiation from the sun releases endorphins, feel-good hormones, that act like a drug, making exposure to sunlight addictive. Okay, so these feel-good hormones act like a drug. Could you imagine taking a drug that make you just feel good, and it's good for you? But at the same time, the sun rays ain't good for a lot of us, because I think what it say, let me look it up. I think it said the biggest number one killer. Skin cancer, let's see. Skin cancer is the most common form of cancer in the U.S. according to the Skin Cancer Foundation. Over 3.5 million skin cancers are diagnosed in more than 2 million people every year. Approximately 90% of non-melanoma skin cancers and 86% of melanoma skin cancer, the deadliest form of the disease, are caused by exposure to ultraviolet radiation from the sun and tanning beds or lamps. Okay? So skin cancer is basically the number one cancer of all cancers. You know what I'm saying? And God created the sun. Now, the thing is, you kind of think about not to say God created people who don't have melanin to get burned, because I know a lot of people probably use that excuse if y'all research too and argue and debate that out there in the world. But we didn't ask to be this way. You know what I'm saying? We just here. And we just kind of dealing with it. But 90% of the people on this planet are vitamin D deficient. It's crazy. It says approximately 90% of non-melanoma skin cancers and 80%. Okay. Basically, all that y'all need to stay out the sun. Now, what else? Melanin. Okay. This is the thing with melanin. They say melanin helps block out damaging UV rays up to a point, which is why people with natural darker skin are less likely to get sunburn, while people with lighter skin are more likely to burn. But UV exposure can raise skin cancer risk even without causing sunburn. You know what I'm saying? So we can, in a sense, black people can get skin cancer too. But we are not affected by it as much as people, light skin, people who are more light skinned. All right? Okay, but does dark skin protect you from the sun? It say dark pigmented people living in the high sunlight environments are at an advantage due to the high amounts of melanin produced in their skin. The dark pigmentation protects from DNA damage and absorbs the right amounts of UV radiation needed by the body, as well as protects against folate depletion.